So, good morning, children. So, you have seen the video and you must have understood any disease is shown up by the symptoms, isn't it? And this showing up of symptoms is only called as what? A manifestation. Manifest, to show up. So, now if you have seen, the symptoms are not alike for all the diseases. They are varying from disease to disease. What makes these symptoms to differ from one disease to another disease? It all depends upon the organ or the tissue which has been targeted by the particular pathogen. Okay, children. So, based on that only, the manifestation of a disease will be organ specific or tissue specific. Then the next question comes, how that particular organ or tissue gets targeted by a particular disease. It all depends upon from where the disease enters into our body. So disease causing microbes enter the body by different means and goes to infect different organs and tissues. So if you see, these are some of the organs and the tissues which will be affected or which will show up the symptoms once the disease is affecting their body. So if you now see, children, what determines the organ being affected, as I told you, it all depends upon the point of entry. Then depending upon the point of entry, the organ is also going to, that particular organ gets infected, which results in the appearance of symptoms. And you all know, when our body is targeted by a particular disease, our immune system will start responding. So once the symptoms appear, your body also shows up the response. What sort of response we'll be discussing later. Now see this, children. If you see, let us assume that nose is the targeted organ. In the sense, the microorganisms enter into our body through our nose. So that could be in the form of droplets when one person sneezes. So when these droplets we inhale, where do they go enter into? They enter into our windpipe and slowly enter into our organs called as lungs. So, when our lungs are targeted, then what will happen? Then, how do you know that your lungs are targeted? It will be reflected in the form of symptoms. That could be cough, that could be breathlessness, maybe blood in sputum. So, these all will result in what? The symptoms indicating that yes, my targeted organ is lungs. Then once they enter the lungs, they are going to damage the tissues. What sort of tissues? Maybe the blood vessels, the lining of the blood vessels, the blood cells, or the lining of the lungs. So when these tissues get affected within the organs, they start responding or they start showing up of the symptoms, and our body also starts fighting the disease, which would be nothing but our response. So what kind of response? Maybe when you cough out sputum or the mucus. You may have a running nose, okay, phlegm, then accumulation of phlegm or swelling in lungs, which indicates that our body is also responding to this particular infection.